Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Hello, how are you? I hope and pray you are all well, inshallah, and having a wonderful, wonderful Thursday, inshallah. Subhanallah, it's been a while since I've been here because I haven't been that well, and that is the main reason why I'm talking about not being a supermum anymore. That is my, I guess, that is my, I wouldn't say affirmation. Is it an affirmation or is it a mantra for the rest of this year, inshallah? This Georgian, yeah. I think that I've taken on a lot and I do a lot, mashallah, and I am able to balance the work and life, but I needed to go back to basics for myself, and I thought, what a good opportunity to help all of you that are working and looking after kids, and you've got your home life to balance and the kids and the relationships and what goes on and so on. And one of the things that I want to address is the fact that whenever we talk about looking after yourself and getting that extra me time, or maybe joining like the inner tribe, for example, or finding some kind of a group that you can hang out with, right? Okay, so having that company or that support system, most of us, most of you don't have time to find it, don't have time to spend half an hour a week watching Thursday Thoughts, for example, or you don't have time to join an inner tribe meeting once every 2 weeks for just 1 hour, when you don't realize the benefits of doing that, the benefits of offloading to people who understand you, right? The benefits of offloading to people who are not going to judge you, the benefits of discussing different ideas and tips on how to make it work without saying to you, oh no, you should just stay at home now, just forget about it, just don't go out to work, right? Or even giving you the idea that actually if you want to go out to work, if you want to work, you can work from home as well, right? So having those opportunities, I think, is really important for all of us to just step back and go, right, okay, you know what, I'm a working mum, okay, I do have a lot on my plate, and I need to figure out how to balance all of it, rather than, like I just said to you, when there was a time in 2019 when I was really, really, I would say, exhausted and also like tired to the back teeth of working outside the home, and I was finding it really difficult. And the solution that most people came up with me, including my own family, was just stay at home, it's fine, just stop working. And then at that time you kind of feel like, how can I just stop working? Like, don't you guys understand, we have this and we've got this and that and that and the other. And then you're like, why don't you just give me some strategies, and why don't you help me to and support me in working, rather than telling me, hey, just stop working, right? Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Welcome to our talk today. It's all about balancing your work-life balance. So a few new people have just joined us, so I just thought I'll say salam again. If you have any comments, any questions, put them in the chat. Put hashtag replay for you, inshallah, and inshallah we will I will give you I'll talk to you, and we'll answer some questions. We'll do like a little Q&A at the end. So first of all, we need to establish our priorities, okay? So what is your priority in your work and in your personal life? What is your priority? For one of the things that I always say to people who struggle with this is, are you working to live, or are you living to work, right? Is your work more important than your health and your family and your children and your well-being? Is work that important? Like, where are you putting it on your scale of priorities, right? Now, I'm not denying that it should be up there. It should be somewhere in your priorities, because clearly you've got to do it, right? Okay, but it's taking the time to step back and think to yourself, right, if I wasn't working, what could I be doing instead? Or if I work on these days instead of these days, how will that change my life? Or can I do something else to make something else in my life a bit better and work better? Okay. And I've spoken about this a lot in the tribe meetings, but pen and paper is so crucial. I don't know why people don't write anymore, but I hadn't written for years until I started coaching again. But what it does is it's cathartic, it's releasing. It allows you to get all of that busyness out of your mind onto paper. And for one reason or another, because mashallah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, family visiting me, and I have taken on a new role at a real life. I'm working in real life right now as well, just helping out with one of my friends. So just doing a bit of face-to-face teaching. And then on top of that, obviously we've got the family that doesn't stop. And then on top of that, I did ask you guys if you wanted to stop the parenting tribe, and most of you said no. So therefore, I'm still doing this and love learning as well at the same time. So clearly there's a lot on the plate, right? Okay. And I've got to decide now that this is my plate, and I've got to decide what stays on it and what comes off it. And I've got to decide what matters the most. And every time I do this, it doesn't matter which way around I do it or what kind of exercise I do, whether it's a breathing exercise or meditation or clearing out my mind, I always come to the same thing. Like, the health and the kids are like the most important in terms of dunya goals. Obviously, I'm not talking about deen, because that's always number one, but I'm talking about in terms of, you know, what you want for you and your family, right? I want my kids to feel secure at home within their environment that they are at home, and I want to be there for them. And I guess I went back to work because I thought, you know what, I'm spending a lot of time on these online businesses, and you know, maybe I need to spend less time on them. And maybe if I was at school, and it means that I'm working at the same time that they are, so that we can, you know, have a better kind of family life, right? So I wanted to try it out again. But honestly, I've come back to, this is where I am. What I'm doing is really, really important, because the number of sisters that we help, mashallah, with their work and their family issues and their relationships and the kids and the behavior and so on, it's really, really important. And it's not just important for me or for them, it's important for the community, right? It's like a community effort that you're doing. And then that means that you tick off one of your akhirah goals as well, right? Or even 2 or 3 of your akhirah goals. So think about in your mind what matters the most. So again, when you sit there and you start thinking like, okay, if I do this, this is going to happen, or if I do that, that's going to happen, or if I put this first, you know, this is going to go last, or whatever. But start writing it out and thinking to yourself, because what will happen is your brain will become clear. You'll have clear goals, which is the second thing I want to say to you. So if you have clear goals, you'll know that I'm doing this to get to a certain goal, right? I'm doing this to get to another goal, and so on. So I have now divided up my work into the separate goals. Okay, what is this bit of work going to achieve? What kind of goal is it going to go for? What is this bit of work going to achieve? And so on. So one of my goals was to create like a bit more of a social community around me, a face-to-face one. I love my online community. I absolutely love all of you, but I just don't know enough people in real life. So I thought that going to work at a school that will give me that will give me that side of it. I also wanted to have a bit of a cash flow. I'm not going to lie about that. Of course, everyone needs cash flow, okay, which would enable me to do something that I've really wanted to do with the kids for a long time. And inshallah, when it materializes, I'll let all of you know what it is, inshallah. And I wanted to you know, see where my kids are all day, right? See where my husband works and so on. So it's been a nice experience, alhamdulillah. But I've come back to realizing that I need more strict schedules. Okay, so this is what we've done now. So what I'd say to you guys is to think about, like I said, you've dumped it all out now. You've got it all on paper. These are all the things that you're doing. These are all the things that you want to do. These are all the things you don't have time to do, right? So you've listed it all out. Then what you have to do is highlight. Get a highlighter, pink, green, and yellow, right? Okay, the pink highlighter is, sorry, that's just got to get off my list. I just don't have time for it. I think Coach Yusra calls it the hell no list. Yeah, like I just don't have time for that. Then there's obviously a yes, it must be list, right? So those are the green tasks. Then the yellow ones are the ones that you decide, okay, if I have time, I'm going to do this. If I have time, I'm going to do that. One of the things that came up on the home ed group that I was on recently was about reading books, because for me, I think all of you know that I read a lot of books, like around business, around parenting, around raising children, obviously around Islam. And right now we're creating that curriculum with a few teachers. So like we're doing a lot of reading. And I do also read crime thrillers. That is my favorite genre of book, and I'm not going to deny that I read those. Okay. And again, what am I doing, right? When I read that crime thriller, okay, I am giving myself some time to be me, to turn off, so that I can be a better mom, right? Okay, so I can switch off my brain and I can just concentrate on what I'm reading. And that chapter or 2 chapters just allows me to like really unwind, and then I'm ready for bed, right? And I've noticed that if you do something like that, if you read, if you garden, if you just go for walks, if you do something that brings you a lot of joy, then you will reflect that joy in whatever you're doing in your daily life, right? Okay, so to balance your work and life. Now, most of you are going to come around, because that's what happened on the home ed group. They were like, but I don't have time to do that, but I've got kids and I'm exhausted, and so on and so on, right? It's absolutely true, right? Where people are exhausted, there is a lot going on in your life, of course it is. But if you want to make a difference, then you've got to go back to your goals. What is one of your goals? I want to do something for me. I don't want my whole life to revolve around the kids. I don't want it to revolve just about housework and revolve just about life in general. I want something to be about me as well. Because remember this cup that we always talk about, that cup, you've got to fill that cup. So if you fill it with time, with energy, with love, with comfort, when you're pouring from that cup, that's what you're going to serve to everybody. But if that cup is empty, you can't serve it to anyone, right? So we're talking about self-care, self-love, looking after yourself so that you can look after them, right? And one of those things is prioritizing the tasks. I talked about this on the WhatsApp group the other day as well, about tiger time, because a lot of mums were talking about, well, my kids have got homework and we've got to get the house cleaned and there's dinner to make and there's job to do, and so on and so on, right? So what you need to do is establish what I call tiger time. Well, I didn't think of it. Amy Portfield introduced it to me on one of her podcasts, right? A business podcast. But it's really important, and I thought it was amazing idea, and I kind of did it, but now I'm more conscious about it. I do it on purpose, whereas before I might have done it but not really. Walaikum salam, Simon, thank you for joining us. But I would have done it before, but not really like knowing what it was, if that makes sense. Yeah. So with tiger time, what you do is this is your task that you have to do within the next hour or 2 hours, and that is all you're doing. You will see the washing up needs doing, the laundry needs taken upstairs, the kid, whatever, needs a shower. I don't know. You'll notice lots of things while you're trying to do this 1 hour or 2 hours of directed time. But the thing is that what you need to do is concentrate on it and do it for those 2 hours, so that the rest of the day you can do what we call firefighting and pop those fires out, take the laundry upstairs, sort out the kids, do X, Y, and Z, right? Now, if your children are really young, obviously you're not going to get 2 hours full of tiger time. Like, come on, let's be honest. Yeah. So what you might want to do is do like a 15-minute tiger time in the morning, maybe a half an hour when they're asleep, and then another 15 minutes at night time. Whatever you can do it, because that is going to create your boundaries. This is your availability, that you can do that bit of work that you want to do. In the VA course, obviously, I'm teaching mums to stay at home and work, right? And one of my taglines, one of my marketing lines is, you can work without needing childcare. Well, obviously, if your kids are around at home, you do need to watch them. So you need to figure out which times of the day you can slot these bits of work in, right? And you've got to figure it out. And what will happen is, once you do it, you're going to feel so happy and elated that you have this extra time. You'll feel like, wow, I've got so much time recently. Like, how did that happen? Because what you're doing is you're being more conscious about how you're using your time, because everyone knows that you can sit on your sofa and an hour will easily go past on social media. But what if you took that hour and you were like, right, in this hour I'm going to do blah blah blah, right? And whatever those blah blah blahs are, you just get them done within that hour. The rest of the day you've got to do whatever you want, right? But what happens is, most people, what we do is we do for the whole day, and then at the end of the day we're like, oh, I didn't have time to do that. And this is the trouble that we have, right? So going back to in a tribe, for example, getting 1 hour every 2 weeks, right? Talk to your partner, talk to your mums, talk to your friends, talk to people that are nearby and say to them, listen guys, for this hour, can you be my support system? Can you help me for this 1 hour a week? Because I need to be at this particular place for this particular time. And again, that means that your children get a break from you, you get a break from them, you're doing something for yourself. You're going to pour from a full cup, not an empty one, and you're going to be happier for it, inshallah. Okay, so think like, what would you like to do? Even if it's not the inner tribe, even if it's, can I just go out for a coffee with a friend, right? Okay, so have that time management like down pat, right? Okay, so we've got the goals, we've got the what's it called, time blocking, and now we need to talk about communication, right? So in communication, we need to realize that people are looking, want to know where we are, what we're doing, what's going on. And the more that we communicate, the more that we let them know that this is the time that I'm available, the more that they'll be able to accept that. So I get people calling me and saying, I've had people phone me like on like constant, like redialing, and I'm like, what are you doing? If I was free, I would definitely call you back, or I would answer the phone, sorry, but I'm not free, clearly, because I'm not, right? Okay, so you have to communicate with them. So you just let them know, a quick text message, I'm sorry, I'm busy right now, I'll call you later. What normally happens is people don't do that. People will be like, oh my God, she's calling so much, it must be really important. Let me answer a phone call. You answer the phone call, you're on the phone for an hour. And this is the trouble. When you're on the phone for an hour, everything else gets pushed back. So we need to be very like selective as to what we're doing. And again, you can see that example in me. Like, I'm trying my best to keep out of conversations that really I just don't have time to get involved in. It'll get there, inshallah. Shway. Slowly, inshallah. Okay, in terms of the workplace, okay, so look for like a flexible workplace. Maybe they have flexible hours. Maybe they will allow you to work remotely, or maybe they will allow you to do all the work that you need to do in less time. Sorry, can you just give me 1 second? What's up? Okay. So in terms of technology, get that technology to help. I spoke to a lady today who said, oh, I don't have a dishwasher. I don't think that you need dishwashers. Dishwashers are overrated. And I was like, well, that's your opinion, but I think dishwashers are like worth their weight in gold, because the dishwasher gets on with part of my work that I would otherwise have to spend time on. So think Even though for someone like me who loves washing dishes, I still use a dishwasher, you guys, right? Okay, why? Because I've got to choose now. I've got to choose, am I going to spend 10-15 minutes washing dishes, or am I going to spend 10-15 minutes with my child, or 10-15 minutes reading a book? I'd much rather sit and read a book, right? So this is the thing about what you're doing. Use the technology to help you. If there's any way that you can automate work, get it done. Those coaches of you that are listening, get a virtual assistant. They are also worth their weight in gold, mashallah. Some of them are on here right now, and they are working super hard to learn about all the different processes to work. Okay, and those of you that are virtual assistants, we've been talking about a lot of this, about balancing the work, the life, the time, the kids, and so on. Well, we talked about self-care already, but again, prioritize it. Think to yourself, what can I do this week that is just for me, right? Am I going to go out for a drive just by myself? Am I going to go out for a coffee with a friend? Am I just going to go and have a coffee with myself, with a coffee and a cake and a Kindle, whatever, right? Okay, whatever helps you to understand that you are important and you deserve that help. Okay. Delegating responsibilities is another one where you share the household tasks. So again, the same lady I was talking to, we were talking about the kids, and she was saying how she's teaching her son to cook because obviously it's a life skill. It will be really useful for him, and she wants him to learn these life skills. And I thought, yeah, that's amazing. I would also love to I do that with my kids. I would love my kids to be able to cook for themselves and look after themselves. And then I said, right now I've got help at home because my mum's around, mashallah. She's been cooking amazing food for me, some of which we are creating. Actually, should I tell you now? But yeah, I'm doing a little cooking course with her, mashallah. So we're going to be sharing that with you soon. And with inshallah, and with the cooking, mashallah, my mum's taken over. But as soon as she goes back, I'm going to have to go back to cooking, right? Yeah, alhamdulillah, huge blessing, Adila, huge. And inshallah, I'm going to go back to cooking. So obviously, my son and my daughters are going to have to take part in that. So they're going to get home a little bit early. So I'm going to have stuff like the roast that's already marinated at night time. They can chuck it in the oven for me. If it's, for example, biryani, again, you marinate it at night time. When they come back, they'll put some rice on the cooker for me so that we can just, make it when they get back, inshallah. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, exactly. We're going to have a chef on board. Exactly. Yeah, it's just Ummy's cooking, isn't it? That you all miss when you're away from home, like I am. So I've got her to teach them some stuff. So what we can do is we can have these plans that we can put into place so that your household tasks don't feel overwhelming for you, because again, a lot of the ladies that we talk to feel overwhelmed. They feel like, I've got a lot to do and there's no help anywhere. And there isn't from outside sometimes, but there might be from inside. And if you can get that help inside, you will be so much better for it, because it's like permanent help. Like, I'm sure you hear people say, you can't get the help these days. You just can't, and I know people who are paying crazy amounts of money for cleaners in England. And one of the ladies I was talking to, she was like, yeah, you pay the cleaner and then you go around watching what they're doing, and you might as well just do it myself. Yeah. Okay. So this is like really important. If you can like get that help, and if you can't get the help from outside, get the help from inside. Whenever you are with the family, there's always going to be that thing at the back of your mind, I've got work to do. I've got work to do. I need to go and do my work. I need to go. So I have had to do this a lot because of the online work, especially. When I was working at a school, it was easier to switch off. I'm not going to say I did switch off, because we don't. Teachers, I'm sure you've heard, we have a lot of work to do. But what has happened recently is I've thought to myself, okay, this is my work time and this is my family time. And once you have that kind of boundary in place, you've got to be strict on it. So I've played some games that I hadn't played for weeks with my kids, because I always thought I didn't have time, right? But now it's a case of, because I'm not home all the time, I can't say to them, oh, we'll play it later, we'll play it later. It's like literally like, when is later? Yeah. So you've got to think about, okay, in this time that I'm at home, I can do X, Y, Z with you. And this is when we're going to do it. And you have these plans so you can do that. And, play with them, have some time with them, connect with them, and so on. Okay. When I was doing the conference, the parenting conference that we did in December, mashallah, all of you saw that in action. You saw Hafsa feeling like, where the heck has my mum been for 3 days, and just wanting to be near me when she wants to sleep. And that is part of what I do. You all know that I'm a very much into co-sleeping, attachment parenting, and I look after my kids in that way. But I know that sorry, I'm just seeing if there is a cat, don't worry. So looking after the kids and being connected to them, whether it's while, they want to sleep near you, or they want to cook with you, or they want to, they want you to wash their hair and not the older sister, or whatever it is, right? Okay, get those consistent times together. And what another good idea to do is get like a routine going, where you always do this on a Sunday, or you always do that on a Friday, because it means that even in those busiest of times, you won't lose the family time. Whereas if it's like sporadic and random, like, oh, this Monday we'll do this, and that Wednesday we'll do that, and that whatever we'll do that, it kind of becomes like a case of like, oh, we've never done that, or we hardly ever do that, or there's no time for that, mom, or whatever. So if you put it into place, like, this is the time that we're going to do it, then you know that on a Friday morning you're busy because you've got something planned. So you won't plan anything in that time, because you know that's going to be a family time, whether you all eat breakfast together, whether you all pray Quran together, whether you all do whatever it is together, you do it together at that time, and it becomes a consistent plan, inshallah. Now, something that I really do struggle with is hoarding things. I feel like I'm a hoarder. I feel like I'm a huge hoarder, because a lot of the time I feel like, oh, but that could be useful for the next kid in another year or two. So I'm going to put it away, and then in a year or two I'll get it out. But what normally happens is I put it all away, and then when it gets to that age, I'm like, oh, that's a little bit old, or that's a little bit this, and then I end up getting something new anyway, right? So stop hoarding things, all right? And I'm talking to myself first before anyone else. Just get rid of all the extra clutter, just so that it's easier to maintain that tidy home. Because if you have too many things, they're just going to be lying around everywhere. If you don't have that many things, it'll be much easier to clean up. That's simply what it is. If you don't have that, do the box that I've shared with you before. Put the box at the bottom of the stairs, put another box at the top of the stairs. Anything that's downstairs that should be upstairs, you put it in the box. And anything that's upstairs that should be downstairs, you put it in the upstairs box. And whenever someone goes up or down, they should take it with them. They won't take it with them. That's all right, because your second idea is to make a postman. So you give the box to the little kid and you tell them, go and drop it off in all the different rooms. So at least the things stay in the right rooms, even if they're not in the right places at the moment. Okay, that's just a very simple one. The meal planning, like I said to you, we're going to come back to you with that one. But simple things, like I just literally used to sit for a couple of hours and just chop and peel onions and garlic and ginger. Okay, alhamdulillah, since my mum's come, she thinks it has to be all done fresh. Don't worry, as soon as she goes back, I'll go back to my plan. But the point is that you just sit there, you just peel it all, chop it all, and it's ready. It's put into little freezer packets and it's in my freezer, and every day I just grab one out, grab the meat, and it defrosts during the day, and you can get it ready, and it's easy. Yeah, whatever makes it easy for you. Okay, remember to build that support network. So we were talking about support networks. Alhamdulillah, we are hoping and praying that this whole parenting tribe becomes a huge support network for you. And even if you're working, we want you to feel like this is your place where you can talk to people, where you can vent if you want to. The parenting chat has been so busy this week, mashallah, with sisters talking about you were talking about Wi-Fi, you were talking about letting the kids go on, you were talking about disciplining the kids, you were talking about so many things, mashallah. I can't even remember, like the chat was just going, mashallah, it's amazing. And everyone was helping, and it was like, oh, I'm struggling with this, right? So notice there was one sister struggling with something, but she was actually giving advice on something else, which is amazing because we're not all experts on everything, right? So helping each other is a huge part of your parenting tribe. But if you don't have that, just look outside, look elsewhere, seek support, see the family and friends that are around you, see the people that take their kids to school in the same classes as you, or you meet them outside madrasa, you meet them at scouts, and find those people. You'll see them, you'll see these people. And subhanallah, what I've noticed with a lot of my mum friends is, like, I look at them and I think, wow, I know you from somewhere. Like, I really feel like I know you. And then when you meet them and you get on with each other, it's like your souls have met before, right? And it's like you feel connected, subhanallah. And you do make good friends, because what the problem is that everyone's thinking that, oh, everyone's got a friend except me, or everyone's got that support system except me, and everyone's thinking it, but no one's ever going out and saying, hey, do you need a support system? I need one too. I mean, obviously that's not how you can have the conversation, but it's about talking to the person and be like, do you need someone? Yeah, I need someone. Yeah, I'd love to have a coffee with you. Let's go out and have a coffee. Let's take our kids here. Let's do this with each other, and so on. And then you build that relationship. You build that support network. A lot of us rely on family or people that we know to help. And then what happens is, we feel resentful because they don't actually give us the help that we need. They give us help, but on their terms. And then we feel resentful because they feel resentful because they are like supporting you, but it's not what you need. So what you need to do is look for the people that are ready to help you in the way that you need it. You might have to pay for that help, but most of the time you could do like sharing help. Like if you babysit your friend's kids for a couple of hours while she does her me time thing, and then she babysits your kids for a couple of hours. Always have activities for them. There's loads of activities that we have in supported that you can share with them. We've got Ramadan activities, we've got Hajj activities, we've got schooling activities. We did 60 days of summer with 60 different activities you can do with the kids. That even one of them, like for example, if you did the picnic, for example, the picnic, you prepare it with the kids, you get the blanket and everything, take it all out, go to a park, and you enjoy a beautiful picnic with the kids. And it's all about connection and all the different ideas that we give you for the food that you can make with them. You talk about healthy eating, talk about the children, talk about what they like, what they dislike, talk about having a colourful play on the thing. So many things that you can talk about just from a picnic, right? Okay, so there's lots of things that you can do that if you took your friend's kids for a picnic, imagine how thankful she would be, and she could look after your kids while you went out and did something. It's amazing, mashallah. Obviously, balancing the work and the home is difficult. It's not easy, right? Okay, right now I'm coming to you and it's still like my day hasn't finished. It's Thursday. I should be like, woohoo, it's the end of the week. I've got nothing to do, right? But I came home and I had another meeting with another sister and another lady, and now I'm coming on to do this in the middle. We made sure the kids had food. I did not cook today. My mum didn't cook either, actually. We ordered from a local place. But the point is that if my mum would have cooked, she would have normally, but I told her it's all right. But the point is that I know I'm going to be busy today, so I don't want to have that stress. So you can order from out, you can get help. Like, my thing always was that when we order from out, they always have unhealthy food, or there's unhealthy options. I want them to eat properly, I want them to have a proper palate, I want them XYZ. You can find these opportunities where they do like diet food now, they do nutritional food, they do like like a healthy food shop or whatever. And what I found is people that are local that love cooking, and I don't like cooking, but I will gladly do something for them when they ask me to. They haven't asked as yet. Some of them have, but most of them haven't. So they cook, and I'm just like happy to like farm that bit of work out. And then again, you've just got to put out all of your things that you're doing and put them all in a line and say, like, what am I happy to do? Do I have time for this? Do I not have time for this? Can I farm that out? Can I get somebody else to do that for me? Can I get someone else to do that? So that you can do all of the most of the things that you want to do, and you can do most of the things that you want to do, but you don't have to suffer with the things that you can't do. Yeah, inshallah. And always look around and see where you can help and where someone can help you, because without that kind of without that camaraderie, without that sisterhood, we're going to find it really difficult to survive, because it is hard doing things all by yourself and always being the person that does everything and never having any help, right? Okay, so it's a good idea to look around now and find those people that you can then inshallah rely on. Now, most of you are going to be able to do that. Some of you are going to be like, I am isolated, I don't go out, homeschool my kids, I'm all alone all the time. What can I do that will give me that me time? Okay, so if you're homeschooling your kids, you have to find a time that you can do something for yourself. So it might be when all the kids are in bed, you just sit in your bed, okay, and relax and do some like really calm knitting, reading a book, whatever, right? Most people that I know that homeschool, I remember when I did it, I was exhausted at the end of the day and I just wanted to go to bed, right? So I would go to bed, but then I would wake up in the morning a little bit earlier than everyone, and I would get things done. So I would either have my meetings in the morning, I would write emails in the morning, I would try to get all my work done for the day in the morning, so that when the kids got up and my day started like boom, 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 and there was no stopping, I'd already felt like I did a huge bulk of the work. There's a lady that I'm helping now at the moment who's doing some online work. It's not the VA work, because the VA is like a very flexible job, and you're working for coaches that are also mums, right? So they understand your limitations and you understand their limitations. So it's like a good way to get a good working relationship, right? Okay, so with her job, it's like a data entry sort of a job, right? Okay, but she has to log in at 9 and she can't log out till 5. She only has a 40-minute break in the middle and so on. It's very like rigid and restrictive. But if you're working from home, you need a little bit of flexibility to maybe like take your kid to school, or like, again, in this case, she was homeschooling her daughter and doing this. So it was a case of finding out, okay, so with her daughter, what if you just push her waking up time to a little bit later and let her stay awake a little bit later, right? So then that allows you to do the bulk of your work in the morning. You're still online, you're still doing your work, but she's also got different activities that you've set up for the rest of those few hours while you're busy. And then she's got a play date at 4:00 that starts, so that you are looking after your daughter and you're able to do that work. It isn't easy, but it's doable, right? As the other coaches say, is it Yusra again? I'll keep quoting Yusra today. Yusra, I'm missing you. It's always figure outable. You can find a solution, find someone that can help you, but if they can't help you, that's all right. You can get solutions where you can figure out how it's going to work for you. Okay, inshallah. I'm sorry, there's a little, I don't know what it is, a little green fly. He's jumping around here, he turns over and then he can't walk. I'm just letting him go. Okay, so anyway, I hope and pray that helped, inshallah. I wanted to keep it short and to the point, because obviously this is going out to working mums who are super crazy busy, and I absolutely know that. The title comes from not a super mum, because a lot of the time people say to you, like, you're a super mum, you work and you look after kids and you this and you that, and it's like, yes, but like giving us the title of supermum is like putting you on a pedestal and saying like, wow, you're supermum, you can do it. But if you say that I'm not a supermum, I need help, right? I need someone to give me a hand with this. I need to farm this task out. I need someone to come and mow my lawn for me. I need someone to just help me pick up the groceries or whatever it is. Then you can remember that you're not the super mum. No one is a super mum. Honestly, they're not. Because even if they look like they're a super mum and their house looks like it's out of a catalogue, it isn't. Like, the real situation is different. It's always something for show and something behind the scenes, right? So we've got to stop this comparisonitis, stop comparing people, and just think to yourself, right, this is me, this is my situation, and this is how I'm going to move forward. And this is the kind of thing that we talk about in the inner tribe, and we give you the strategies to move forward. So we say to you, okay, this week you're going to do this, that week you're going to do that, and so on. And each couple of weeks we check on you to see, have you managed to implement the next step? Have you implemented the next step? And subhanAllah, everyone that was in the inner tribe last year absolutely loved it. They enjoyed it. They got a lot out of it. They've changed. They've started asking for help. They've started building their networks. They've met people in other countries, subhanAllah, like me, for example. I mean, you know, I've met so many people from the inner tribe that are in all the different places in England and in Kuwait, in Qatar. Alhamdulillah, we can do that because we're all you know, working for the common good. So you want to meet those souls, you want to meet those people that are in the same vicinity as you and doing the same thing. I hope and pray this really helped you. Let me know if you have any questions. I apologize if I feel a little bit like on a monotone today, so I apologize. That wasn't my plan to do like a lecture. Okay, it was supposed to be a bit interactive, but everyone was really quiet in the chat. So let me know if you have any questions, any comments, anything you'd like to know. There is a Q&A session tomorrow morning, inshallah, at 9 o'clock. I will be doing the Q&A session in I think I'm going to do it in my Facebook group and on Zoom, inshallah. So if you want the link for that, send me a message. If you want the link for the WhatsApp group, just put a comment in and I'll send you a link to the WhatsApp group, or DM me privately. I've stopped sharing it in public because we just had a lot of people join that were not exactly what we were looking for, as in men, not mothers, subhanAllah. So just send me a message if you'd like to join the WhatsApp group. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, do let us know. If you want us to talk about something, let us know. The next couple of weeks, you're going to have Coach Iram with you with some amazing guests. And then we also have Coach Sonia Keats coming in a couple of weeks. And who else is coming? And inshallah, I'll be with you in about 3 weeks, so hopefully with another surprise, inshallah. So take care of yourselves, and please do let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.